Hello, my most amazing artists and artist parents. I want to talk especially to you, adults who are going to be helping my artists as we go forward with the rest of this school year with art from home. My name is Mrs. Joplin, and I am your child's art teacher. I'm definitely missing all of my artists and getting to see the amazing artwork that they create when we're together in the art room. But I am excited for you to have a front row seat to their creativity. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit about how our art room normally runs so that you may understand a little bit more about what your student is doing and will be able to help them as they continue for the rest of this school year and maybe beyond creating artwork at home. So first of all, my art classroom is a TAB classroom. So that stands for Teaching for Artistic Behavior, which just means basically that my job is to teach your student how to think and behave like an artist. I'm more interested in helping them to find their own ideas, to pursue their own interests, than to come up with all the ideas myself and everybody kind of create that same sort of cookie cutter project. Here's what this may look familiar to your students. This is a sign that hangs in our art room or just outside of the art room, depending on which building I see your student in. And it just welcomes them to art and reminds each of you to know that you are the artist. This is your studio. And then I ask, what do artists do? So your child is the artist. You don't have to find the ideas. You don't have to go scrounging through Pinterest trying to come up with some great, awesome project for them to do. That is their job. They are the artists. They are responsible for finding their own ideas. And their ideas are not going to be the same as our ideas. I will say my students are much more interested in Minecraft and other video games and what they can make with Legos than what I would probably come up with for them to do. But they also can take those ideas and create some amazing things with them. This is their studio. So normally their studio is the art classroom, but now the studio is there at home. So maybe their studio is going to be the kitchen table. Maybe it's going to be a desk in their bedroom. Maybe sometimes their studio may be outside. So whatever works for you. We are going to talk in future videos about how to set up your workspace using materials that you should have at home and how to make so all the different options for your studio space. So we will talk more about that later. But basically, the world is your studio. Your home is your studio now. So that's what that space is. And as an artist, we know that we have to care for our own studio and we care for our own materials. And then finally, what do artists do? And I talk more about this. This graphic here shows a little bit more about what artists do. First of all, artists find an idea. Like I said, I don't feed them ideas now. I do give them lots of options, and that's something that I'll be doing while they're home too. Giving some cool material, introducing materials and how to use those materials. I'll be showing a lot of different ideas, and we'll look at different artists and artwork. So we will still be I will definitely be helping find ideas. And then the next thing the artists do is they plan and practice. They think about their work. This, if you see over on the left, this is think about work. And that is all along the way as we're finding ideas, planning and practicing and creating our artwork. We're thinking about it. We're thinking about we're thinking ahead, envisioning what we want to make, thinking about how we're going to do it. And then when it's finished, we think about what we thought of it. We think about how it went. And so we think about what materials we want to do. We set up our workspace. Planning and practicing, that's where you really engage with your idea. You persist with it. You keep at it until you get it the way you want it. So sometimes that means practicing a new skill because you know what you want to make and maybe you don't know how to make it yet. So planning and practicing is where you're practicing the skills you need to ultimately make that artwork that you want to create. And you can see at the bottom, creating our artwork. So that's that last, kind of the last step. Not really. There's a lot more that comes after that, but in that continuum between finding an idea, planning and practicing, and then we create our artwork. And all along the way, we're thinking about our work and sharing our work. So we don't just wait and share our work at the end. When you find your idea, sometimes you'll share that idea with someone else, bounce ideas back and forth. I see that happen a lot with my artists. As they're working in the middle of a project, one will share, here's how I'm doing this, or they'll look at somebody's paper and say, hey, how did you do that? And so they are the artist, they are the teacher sometimes. And so we have lots of experts in our classrooms. So we share our work with others along the way. And finally, when it's finished, we share our work with others. And I know that my students love, their favorite way to share their work is to take it home and share with you at home. So now you get to be there for the process as well. And hopefully you will find ways to share their work, whether it's hanging it on the refrigerator, putting it up in the windows for the neighbors, photographing it and posting it on social media, or here sharing it with me. So we want to find lots of ways, hopefully, that you can share your students' work. And they also, as they're thinking about their work, sometimes they reflect and write about it. If you do post your students' work on social media or on Google Classroom or whatever option is available for you, maybe in the comments on this video, you could post a picture of your students' work. Have them write about it. If your child is a first grader, one sentence is plenty. If your child is a fourth grader, maybe a few more sentences about it, maybe how they got their idea, and ask them about it. Ask them how they got their idea, where they found the resources to create it, what skills they built while they were working on this, what was a challenge to them. And maybe what would they do differently if they were to do this again another time? So that is what artists do. That's what we work on learning in the art room every week. Normally, our art time is just 30 minutes a week. So this is kind of a unique opportunity now that your artist can have some extra art time. And it doesn't have to even be limited to once a week. So one thing that they do know is that artists are responsible for cleaning up after themselves. So when it's time to stop working or time to pause working, they know that they should clean up their studio space, put things where they belong. And that is not your job, adults. That is the artist's job. So I miss all of my artist faces. I miss the hugs. I cannot wait to see you guys again. And I hope that you're enjoying this time at home and learning a lot still. And I really hope that you use some of this extra time to be extra creative. So I will be seeing you again soon.